It is Tuesday, September 26th, 2023, and looking out the window at Defiance. It's kind of a cloudy morning, warmish in a way. It's in the mid 60s, but I think it's like going to be in the mid 70s today and cooling off a bit for a couple of days before back to some summer-like weather at the end of next week. The devotion for today is entitled A House, a Tent, a Temple, a Shelter, written by Jennifer Ruth Lynn Garrison. Jennifer bases the devotion on Psalm 27, verses 4 through 5, New Revised Standard Version. One thing I asked of the Lord, that will I seek after, to live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in God's temple. For God will hide me in his shelter in the day of trouble. He will conceal me under the cover of a tent. God will set me high on a rock. And then Jennifer writes, one temptation is to believe that we will find God only if we build the perfect structure. Here's the thing, though. God doesn't fit into the boxes we make for her. Even with two short verses, the poets do not try to make God fit into one place. The psalmist here finds the Lord in a house, in a temple, in a tent. How about you? Where do you seek the holy? In the comfort and camaraderie of home, gathered around a table, heaped with a favorite meal? Or could be you look for the Lord under the soaring rooftops of the temple, place of worship and learning. Or maybe you find the divine presence in the temporary structure of the tent, on the go, wherever you are. Or perhaps you are one of those blessed to encounter the living God in all those places. It's a temptation to believe the cloth must be laid just so, the candles lit correctly, your heart swept clean, your mind a tidy dwelling place. God is ready to live with you wherever you are. And the prayer. Holy One, meet me in the home, in the temple, in the tent. Wherever I am, remind me that my shelter is you. Amen. Well, so many things went through my mind as I read this devotion, and one is some people who seem so hung up on the church building, what it looks like on the inside, change the color of the carpet, change the banners, add a screen. Somehow it's just not a place of worship for them anymore. And that's a struggle. I mean, I struggle with understanding that. The other thing this devotion made me think of is some of the most spiritual encounters I've had have never been in a building, but actually out in nature. For instance, the very last part of that verse, God will set me high on a rock. Some of the most inspiring places I've been have been in mountains, for example, and overlooking a valley, just awe-inspiring. Sometimes being on the shore of Lake Michigan when wind is strong and there's huge waves crashing in. That's for me. But I think the important thing is everyone experiences the divine in a different way. And perhaps everyone has multiple ways of experiencing the divine in their life, feeling close to God. And it isn't always just tied to a building. It can be, but it isn't always just tied to a building. One other thing that this reminded me of is I've been following someone who is on the Camino de Santiago, the Way of St. James. It's basically a 30-day hike, depending upon where you start from, through the northern part of Spain, sometimes starting in France, sometimes starting in Portugal. And just, it's amazing to follow her and her journey. And it's something I hope I have the chance to do someday myself. Being alone on a hike, being with others whom you don't know, striking up conversations, taking in the experience. I know that just seems like a very divine place to be for me. Hope this gives you some things to think about, and Hope to talk to you soon.